Understanding cognitive flexibility and the need for social intercourse. It is impossible for the idiot to know that they are being idiotic if nobody informs them of this simple fact about their seemingly simple behavior. In the case of someone who is, by all definitions, simple or slow, this may be a wasted, futile, and even pointless effort. In the natural processes of social intercourse and debate, this simple effort is imperative for any successful conclusion of the discussion and for ascertaining any real meaning from the discourse as has taken place. Me, I'm essentially an idiot. I believe that knowledge is a mixed curse, even on the best of days, as my grandfather once noted. I have found that, as he said, the more I learn, the more I discover I will never know. I am also intellectually lazy, which can be a fatal flaw without my host of supporters and detractors in place. Alone, I know only enough to get me in trouble. But with your knowledge and critical feedback and input, there are literally no goals that cannot be attained. The habit of subjecting one's ideas, beliefs, and ideologies to critical examination is a literal necessity within the arena of honest intellectual discourse and societal development. This process is instrumental in fostering a deeper and more objective understanding of complex issues, as it compels individuals to confront and reassess their perspectives through engagement with differing viewpoints. It is equally important that any inquiring audience understand the theoretical underpinnings of why challenging beliefs is essential for intellectual growth, drawing from cognitive, psychology, philosophical discourse, and sociological perspectives. Mind you, idly criticizing someone for merely doing something or trying to accomplish something that you don't believe that can be done, or simply because you disagree at any base level, is not the same as engaging in intellectual discourse. Challenging one's ideas through a critical perspective is imperative to success. At the core of this argument lies the concept of cognitive flexibility, which is the ability to adapt one's thinking in response to new information or changing circumstances, the opposite of cognitive dissonance, which far too many people suffer from or endure. Cognitive psychologists assert that exposure to diverse perspectives and alternative viewpoints stimulates cognitive flexibility by challenging existing mental frameworks. When individuals encounter contradictory information, they are prompted to reevaluate their assumptions and modify their beliefs accordingly. This process not only enhances intellectual adaptability, but also mitigates cognitive biases and cognitive dissonance that may distort rational decision-making. There are, of course, some exceptions to this rule, primarily among those who refuse to examine or reflect upon their own beliefs. This is very often exemplified by displays of what is generally known as cognitive dissonance, something quite common among fanatics of all stripes and for all manner of cult-like guilds and gatherings. From a philosophical standpoint, the importance of challenging one's belief is rooted in the pursuit of truth and intellectual honesty. Within the realm of philosophical discourse, the perspectives of the sophists provide a nuanced lens through which to examine the notion of challenging beliefs and engaging in debate. The sophists, who were quite prominent during classical antiquity, were known for their skepticism towards the existence of absolute truth. Instead, they emphasized the importance of rhetoric and persuasion in argumentation, viewing truth as relative and contingent upon context. This relative approach to truth contrasts sharply with the Platonic notion of absolute forms and objective reality. The sophists' skepticism towards absolute truth can be seen, however, as more of a strategic maneuver within the context of rhetorical persuasion, rather than as a genuine denial of objective reality or as part of any deeper inspection of theories to determine any potential flaws or errors. By emphasizing the malleability of truth and the power of rhetoric, the sophists sought to equip their students with the tools necessary to navigate the complexities of public discourse and legal argumentation. In this sense, Their emphasis on argumentative techniques and the art of persuasion was aimed at empowering individuals to advocate for their positions effectively, rather than to undermine the pursuit of truth or to discover any flaws in the logical pursuits being undertaken. It should also be noted that the sophist's approach underscores the inherent subjectivity of human perception and language. From their perspective, truth is shaped by linguistic constructs and rhetorical devices, rendering it inherently fluid and contingent upon human interpretation. This relativistic stance invites critical reflection on the limitations of language and the complexities of communication, highlighting the need for humility in asserting the certainty of one's beliefs, especially during a discussion held for the specific purpose of discovering any flaws or potential challenges that may not have previously been considered. It is important to note that while the sophist's relativistic stance may seem to undermine the pursuit of objective truth, their emphasis on rhetorical skills and critical inquiry does at least serve as a testament to the value of engaging in dialogue and challenging assumptions. By encouraging the individual to critically examine their beliefs and consider alternative viewpoints, the sophists may well have laid the necessary groundwork for a robust tradition of intellectual inquiry and honest debate that continues to resonate in discourse designed to root out any kinks in the armor or other potential flaws that may remain undiscovered. Some philosophers, such as Karl Popper, have further emphasized the principle of falsifiability, the notion that scientific theory should be capable of being disproven through empirical evidence. When applied to broader ideological context, this philosophical principle underscores the necessity of subjecting all beliefs to rigorous scrutiny, lest one risk leaving undiscovered any flaws that may have a direct and even detrimental impact on the recipients of assistance and other beneficiaries when those are put into practice. By embracing critical inquiry and inviting scrutiny, our foundation can refine their understanding of both objective and subjective truth, encounter challenges and ramifications we may not have fully considered, or even discover some circumstances we had not seen at all, and thus attain a more robust and epistemological foundation. Sociologically, the exchange of ideas through verbal and social intercourse is essential for the functioning of pluralistic societies. The sociologist Jürgen Habermas proposed the concept of the public sphere, wherein citizens engage in rational discourse to reach consensus and make collective decisions. In this view, open dialogue serves as a mechanism for democratic participation, allowing diverse voices to contribute to public deliberation and policy formulation. It should be noted here also that many closed societies will not openly and freely share their true feelings or even their needs and desires with outsiders, thus the importance of the social support services teams. The integration of the social support services team and having them consisting of individuals that are elected from the local community, elected by the local residents, is just one of the many safety measures that are being put in place to ensure the continuation of true and meaningful feedback regarding foundational operations and ensuring that programs and objectives are set up and established in direct line with the needs of the local community. Conversely, any refusal to engage with opposing viewpoints can lead to intellectual stagnation and ideological rigidity, also known as cult-like behavior and cultish systems of beliefs and blind faith that can never be challenged by the likes of you or anyone else. This phenomenon mirrors characteristics of cult-like environments where individuals exhibit unwavering adherence to a singular ideology, shunning any opportunity to examine its true nature and ruling literally any objection as heretical in nature. Social psychologists have studied the psychological mechanisms underlying groupthink, which is characterized by a desire for conformity and a reluctance to challenge group consensus. This conformity can and historically has impeded critical thinking and inhibited the exploration of alternative perspectives. Yet despite that, it remains a very real phenomenon and one which must be considered in great depth, especially in large-scale programs such as those being introduced by our foundation. The need to challenge one's beliefs is rooted in cognitive, philosophical, and sociological perspectives that emphasize the importance of critical inquiry and intellectual humility. Again, and especially for our foundation and the organizational structure, given the grandiose nature of the programs themselves and their very real impact on the lives of very real and depressingly vulnerable individuals, families, and communities. By subjecting our ideas to more scrutiny and engaging in more open dialogue, we can foster cognitive flexibility, refine our understanding of the truth, and contribute to a more meaningful, realistic, and even vibrant exchange of ideas for the rural development centers and the programs being established. Those who would willingly resist this process risk succumbing to intellectual stagnation and ideological dogmatism, if not full-on cognitive dissonance and cult-like behavior, thereby hindering not only their own personal growth, but the personal growth of the most vulnerable members of society, inhibiting societal progress for the most vulnerable individuals, families, and communities. Embracing intellectual curiosity and remaining open to more diverse viewpoints is essential for navigating the complexities of the modern world and ensuring that cult-like thinking and behavior never gains a foothold, never mind any place or opportunity where it can fester and grow, impeding any real potential for systemically sustainable human growth and development as introduced by our foundation and these programs. So yeah, if you question anything we say, if you doubt anything we say, we're more than happy to discuss it in great detail. So just let us know. Thank you. Bye. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below.